In Mexico, a tough agent named Machete Cortez is on a dangerous mission alongside his young partner to rescue a girl kidnapped by a ruthless drug lord named Torres.
Esto es suicidio. Es solamente una chica más perdida en México.
Although his superiors order him to withdraw, deeming the mission impossible, Machete presses forward. Even when his superior calls directly to command him to stop, Machete crushes the communication device with his bare hands, signaling that nothing can stand in his way.
¿Por qué no escuchan mis órdenes, pendejo?
Upon arriving at a building, an armed group immediately comes out to block them. Undeterred, Machete draws his machete and charges at them. Bullets fly in all directions. His partner falls in a hail of gunfire, but Machete pushes on, breaking into the building. With incredible bravery, he leaps and slashes one of the enemies, then uses the severed hand of that man to shoot other foes, clearing a path deeper inside. Guards who try to surround him end up beheaded. Machete finally finds the girl he's been looking for, completely naked, and immediately begins to escort her out. But before they can get far, the building is suddenly swarmed by more armed men. As the chaos intensifies, the rescued girl unexpectedly stabs Machete in the leg with his own machete. It turns out it was all a trap. Torres appears and orders his men to restrain Machete. He mocks Machete for being incorruptible, bragging that he has bought off DEA officials and even the Mexican government. With a cold stare, Machete remains unmoved until Torres drags out Machete's wife and beheads her right in front of his eyes.
Your daughter, she's in school right now.
He then threatens to go after Machete's daughter and command his men to burn the building down with Machete inside, without honor.
Operation Network. She. Agent Uribe.
3 years later, at the U.S.-Mexico border, an immigration officer named Sartana is monitoring a suspicious taco truck. The owner, Luz, is suspected of being involved in both an immigrant smuggling ring and an underground resistance movement. At that very moment, Sartana spots Machete in the distance and immediately requests his background information. At the same time, a brutal smuggling group forces immigrants out of a van and abandons them in the desert. Several jeeps arrive, and a pregnant woman, who fails to run fast enough, is shot dead by the group's leader, Vaughn Jackson, a ruthless border vigilante. He refuses to let her child be born on American soil.
Welcome to America.
The event is recorded by someone standing beside Senator John, a corrupt politician who exploits immigration violence for votes. The footage is staged as propaganda.
If it's born about vigilance.
Catch all that? A lot.
Back at the taco truck, Sartana approaches Luz and begins questioning her about her alleged illegal activities. But Luz insists she's just a taco vendor. Machete, nearby, quickly walks away, wanting no involvement. However, he's soon approached by a mysterious businessman named Booth. At first, Booth pretends to offer him a job as a gardener, but his true motive is to hire Machete as a hitman. The target? Senator John. He offers $150,000 in cash for the job. Though Machete initially refuses, he eventually accepts after being threatened with death if he declines.
Take you to get this kind of money. Have a look at this.
Booth takes him to an armory to pick his weapons. Machete chooses a sniper rifle and, of course, brings his signature weapon, the machete. Before carrying out his mission, Machete returns to the taco truck and hands Luz some money to support the underground immigrant network.
Ladies and gentlemen, bleed us, they're parasites.
On the day of Senator John's campaign rally, Machete has infiltrated a nearby building and is positioned on the rooftop, ready. Booth and his men are in the crowd, watching.
Shane, change the law. The jingle jangle of penny.
Just as Machete is about to shoot, he's shot first by Booth's men. John is also shot in the leg as part of the staged attack. Booth then yells and points at Machete as the shooter. Wounded, Machete attempts to flee the rooftop.
Because right after that,
He fights off agents, manages to reach the ground floor, but is stopped by two police officers who are actually Booth's men. They drag Machete into a car, but forget one thing: to search him. Machete quickly stabs the driver with a hidden weapon and crashes the car to escape. The real plan behind Booth and John's scheme was political theater to boost John's popularity. But when Torres sees footage of Machete, he recognizes him immediately and orders his execution. Severely injured, Machete is taken to a hospital where he is treated by a doctor and nurse who are secretly part of Luz's network. But his safety is short-lived. Booth's men, including a sniper, arrive at the hospital. Machete must fight once again, this time using medical tools as weapons. In a dramatic move, he uses his enemy's intestines to swing out the window and escape. Meanwhile, Sartana, who now has orders to arrest Machete, starts to see a different side of the case. In the city streets, the weakened Machete is found by Luz and taken to her home. Using alternative healing methods and spiritual rituals, Luz treats his wounds. They become intimate.
Made up. Give them food. Fun.
You can.
Oh my God.
Where's the taco truck lady at? Big 45?
But danger isn't over yet. Booth's sniper tracks Luz's location and attacks the apartment. One of his men is immediately killed by Machete's thrown machete, while the rest are taken down. A bomb is thrown into the home, but Machete escapes before the explosion. While fleeing, Sartana intercepts him and forces him into her car. Inside, she reveals she knows his past and wants to help expose Torres' crimes.
I'm gonna find the guy that did this.
And you're like, cool?
Both cops.
Meanwhile, a furious Booth kills his own sniper for failing and declares he's hired a deadlier assassin to hunt Machete. Torres gives the final deadline, 24 hours, or he'll handle it himself.
Osiris, Chiputo.
Sartana brings Machete to her home and asks who hired him to kill the senator. She wants to protect him, but Machete promises to find the person responsible and bring him to her. Luz returns to her apartment and heads to a secret base to reveal her massive weapon stash. Sartana, who had been tracking her, arrives and confronts her, but it's soon revealed that Sartana is an ally. Luz explains the network's mission to fight Vaughn and his group. Machete then visits his brother Benicio, now a priest, and asks for help. Benicio takes him to a hidden surveillance room in the church, where they review Booth's confession tapes. Benicio explains that Booth often comes for confession and unknowingly records himself admitting his ties to Torres.
hire you to kill his own boss.
Gonna find out.
That's all your sins. Now get the fuck out.
Machete goes to Booth's home, posing as a gardener, and attacks two armed men with a weed trimmer.
You're not the usual guy.
He then finds Booth's wife and daughter swimming nude, and sleeps with them before drugging and placing them in a van. He sneaks into Booth's office and leaves a copy of the recording. When Booth returns and watches the footage, he nearly suffers a heart attack. Machete brings the recordings and important documents about Booth, Vaughn, John, and Torres to Sartana, who then realizes Torres wants John to build the wall, so it can be controlled and monetized. As Luz prepares to leave her hideout, she is ambushed by Vaughn and his men, who accuse her of hiring Machete to kill John then shoot her in the eye. Meanwhile, the assassin Booth hired, Osiris, arrives at Benicio's church with heavily armed troops. Benicio manages to kill several of them with a double-barreled shotgun, but is eventually shot in the leg.
Please, Father, have mercy.
God has mercy. I don't.
Booth arrives and finds Benicio crucified. He begins nailing his hands, demanding to know Machete's whereabouts. Elsewhere, Machete and Sartana are ambushed by Booth's men. They fight back, and Sartana kills one of them using a high heel. Machete returns to the church and finds Benicio dead. He sends a message to Booth. "I'm coming." Booth receives the message just as Torres calls, now having arrived in the U.S., threatening that once Machete is dead, Booth will be next. Booth reveals Sartana has the files, and Torres plans to get to her first. Machete storms Booth's home using lawn tools, terrifying the guards. He uses a nail gun, garden shears, and various tools to eliminate them one by one, gathering full intel from one of them. Sartana delivers the documents to a local newspaper. During Senator John's press conference, a reporter accuses him of staging a fake assassination attempt. A video is shown, featuring Booth killing Benicio and John shooting immigrants. John and Booth flee in a taxi. Feeling betrayed, John shoots Booth dead.
Get the fuck out.
Machete arrives and finds the dying Booth, who tells him Torres is hunting him, then dies.
How did politics do it?
With God.
John calls Vaughn and orders him to destroy Machete completely. Machete returns to the border town and sees Luz's truck covered in flowers. One of the men says they must fight back, and Machete agrees. He's taken to their base to prepare for war. Sartana also arrives and gives a rousing speech to support Machete, inspiring everyone to join. Torres captures Sartana, and Machete leads his army, composed of civilians in modified cars and motorcycles. John arrives at Vaughn's location, but Vaughn's men turn on him after learning of his collaboration with Torres. As the battle begins, Machete charges in with his giant machete, slaying enemies.
Fuck 'em up!
An ambulance arrives, carrying sexy nurses from the hospital to join the fight. Luz appears with a futuristic rifle and destroys the enemy forces. Machete's army gains the upper hand. Vaughn attempts to flee, but Luz, hidden in his truck, shoots him in the head. Torres arrives with a bound Sartana, and he and Machete engage in a one-on-one sword duel. They slash at each other until both lose a weapon. Machete lunges, but falls. Before Torres can deliver the final blow, Machete stabs him. Torres acts unfazed at first, but eventually succumbs, saying Machete will be waiting for him in the afterlife. The battle is won. Machete raises his machete in victory as everyone celebrates. The film ends.